Hello anime lovers! Welcome to the AniFlare Anime Explain channel. Today we will talk about episode 4 of Sakamoto Days. You can find the link to the previous episode in the description. So, without any delay, let's continue the story. So far, we saw that Shin defeated Tatsu, but just as things seem to settle down, two more dangerous hitmen appear, Boiled and Obiguro. Both of them have come to assassinate Sakamoto. Obiguro looks around at the crowded theme park and says, "There are too many people here. Let's finish this quickly and go home." But Boiled suddenly yells at her saying, "You almost stepped on an ant trail." He has a strict rule. He only takes the lives of his target and no one else. Obiguro, annoyed by his loud voice, pretends to be irritated. But deep inside, she secretly finds Boiled's strictness very attractive. Meanwhile, on the other side, Lu helps Shin by putting eye drops in his eyes. This was actually the antidote for the poison that Tatsu had used. Sakamoto then turns to Tatsu, who is still tied up, and calmly asks, "Who do you work for?" Then Tatsu replies, "If I tell you, will you let me go?" Lu smirks and takes Tatsu's own poisoned knife, then stabs it. Then she says, "If you want the antidote, you better start talking fast." Tatsu gasps in pain and immediately tell them everything. "I was hired by a group called Donden Kai." Shin raises an eyebrow. "Wow, that was quick. No loyalty at all, huh?" Then Tatsu says, "I don't care about the company. I just care about my life. I work only for money, that's it." He also says that I'm also a member of JAA. Lu looks confused and asks, "What's JAA?" Shin explains, JAA stands for Japanese Association of Assassins. It's an elite organization of professional hitmen. Sakamoto and I used to be part of it. There are around 400 skilled assassins working under them in Japan. Tatsu then looks at Sakamoto and asks, "Is that true? That were you really part of the order?" Sakamoto's cold, unreadable expression is enough of his answer. He now realizes that the order wasn't just a myth, it was real. Before anyone can say more, Aoi and Hana arrive. Luckily, they think Tatsu is just an actor from the theme park. Shin says, "We're just rehearsing for the next play." With the situation under control, the group decides to go for lunch. Then Tatsu asks, "Wait, you're not going to kill me?" Shin replies, "Nah, we came to the park to have fun, not to kill anyone." As they leave, Hana runs back to Tatsu and gently puts a bandage on his hand. She says, "You were really good in that play. Bye-bye, mister." Then she happily walks away. Tatsu then quietly cuts his ropes and thinks, "These people are crazy," but strangely, he no longer feels like killing them. With a sigh, he decides to ride the roller coaster one more time and then go back to home. During lunch, Shin suddenly feels dizzy. He says, "Ugh, this antidote is messing with me. Looks like I won't be able to read anyone's mind for the rest of the day." Lu turns to Sakamoto and says, "I think we should go home now." But before they can leave, Aoi walks up to them and says, "You three are acting really weird today. Are you hiding something?" Hearing this, Sakamoto, Shin, and Lu freeze, struggling to come up with an excuse. Meanwhile, in the bathroom, Tatsu was washing his hands. Suddenly, Obiguro comes from behind, pins him down and sits on top of him. Tatsu tries to struggle, but she holds him in place with ease. Then Boiled yells at her, "A good girl like you shouldn't sit with your legs spread like that." Then Tatsu asks them, "What you two are doing here?" Boiled replies, "We're here for finishing your work." Obiguro says with excitement, "I've only heard stories about him. I can't wait to meet him." Just then, Boiled scratches the scar on his cheek. Obiguro notices and teases, "Wait, don't tell me Sakamoto gave you that scar." Boiled quickly denies it. "No, I fell and got this myself." Despite their playful attitude, Tatsu knows how dangerous these two really are. 2 years ago, during the Balkan battles, they single-handedly took down over 100 people. They are martial arts masters and are known as Donden Kai's power couple. Sakamoto and Shin will not be able to stand against these two. Back with Sakamoto and the others, they try to act normal and says, "We're not hiding anything. We're having so much fun." And then, they go on a few more rides. Everyone were in an open and crowded place, so it is very difficult to kill someone here. But then, Aoi excitedly says, "Next, we're going to the haunted house." Sakamoto, Shin, and Lu freeze in fear. A dark, enclosed space like a haunted house is the perfect place for an assassination. Everyone entered the haunted house. Lu looks very scared, so she quickly takes out a bottle and drinks some juice to calm herself. Meanwhile, Boiled and Obiguro are watching them from the CCTV room. They can see everything happening inside the haunted house. Many people are dressed as ghosts and zombies, standing in different corners to scare visitors. Suddenly, one of the zombies attacks for real. This is no actor, it's a hitman in zombie costume. Sakamoto pretends to be scared, but in the next second, he knocks the hitman out with ease. Shin searches his clothes and finds a hitman license, proving that he was a real assassin. Watching from the CCTV room, Obiguro gets even more excited. She really wants to fight Sakamoto, but she also knows that Boiled and Sakamoto have a past. So, Boiled will be the one to fight him first. Boiled takes a big sip from a bottle and says, "He's not my friend." Suddenly, the story flashes back to the JCC Assassin Training School, where Boiled first met Sakamoto. At that time, Boiled was 15 years old and Sakamoto was 14. Boiled had heard rumors about Sakamoto being incredibly strong, so he went to meet him. Over time, they became friends and spent a lot of time together. On Valentine's Day, Boiled sighed and told Sakamoto, "Guys like us, real Sigma males, never get chocolates from girls." But Boiled shocks to see that Sakamoto was extremely popular with the girls and received tons of gifts. Meanwhile, Nagumo got an entire cart with full of chocolates. Nagumo asked Sakamoto, "Who is this guy following you?" Sakamoto casually replied, "I don't know." Boiled was shocked to hearing this, then Sakamoto casually saying, "If you want, you can take some." At that moment, Boiled felt betrayed. He thought they were alike, but now he knew they were not. Back in the present, Obiguro watches Boiled closely and suspects that he wants to fight Sakamoto to settle an old grudge. But Boiled yells in frustration, "No! This isn't about revenge." Meanwhile, Sakamoto and Shin continue defeating hitmen one by one, while Lu is terrified. Shin teases her, "You should learn from Hana. She's just a kid, and she's not scared at all." Annoyed, Lu pulls out her bottle and drinks again. Shin suddenly sniffs the bottle and realizes it's not juice, it's alcohol. Just then, they spot a locked door ahead. Completely drunk and reckless, Lu kicks it open without thinking. Suddenly, a swarm of zombies rushes out, causing chaos. In the confusion, everyone gets separated. Boiled suddenly comes out of the crowd and hits Sakamoto, crashes through a wall and is thrown far away. Then Sakamoto throws an ID card at Boiled's face, but Boiled dodges it. Boiled smirks and asks, "Do you remember me, Sakamoto?" Sakamoto says, "No. Where is my family?" Boiled smirks and replies, "After today, you will definitely remember me." As he says this, tears fall from his eyes. Meanwhile, Aoi and Hana are unconscious, and Obiguro arrives to attack Shin. But suddenly, a completely drunk Lu kicks Obiguro in the face. She looks just like a drunken kung fu master. On the other side, Boiled asks again, "Do you really not remember me?" Sakamoto refuses again. Boiled sighs and says, "Well, I don't remember you either, and if your family is lost, go find them yourself." Now angry, Sakamoto charges at Boiled, but Boiled throws a bomb at his face. Sakamoto quickly kicks him, but Boiled dodges effortlessly and throws multiple bombs toward him. After that, he lands a powerful punch on Sakamoto, and the impact is so strong that even Obiguro hears it from another room. Lu tries to punch Obiguro again, but Obiguro catches her fist with ease. Then, she grabs Lu by the hair and says, "You need to do better than that." Then Obiguro says, "I could kill both of you in an instant, but where's the fun in that?" Her men grab Shin and tie him up. Then, they start a chainsaw. Obiguro laughs and says, "Some people only show their true strength when they are in real trouble." She then sets a rule. Lu must attack once her in every 10 seconds. If she fails, Shin will be sliced into pieces. Lu starts crying and says, "I can't do this. I am sorry, Shin." Meanwhile, Boiled looks at Sakamoto and says, "You've been retired for 5 years. That means there's a 5-year gap in our experience. That's why you've become weak." Sakamoto tries to punch him again, but Boiled throws another bomb in his face. His bombs bounce like rubber balls, making them even harder to dodge. Boiled smirks and says, "You won't last against my super ball bombs and rocket dynamite punch." He explains that he can attack from any distance and angle. Did you forget all about it? Sakamoto suddenly remembers a time when Boiled showed him and Nagumo his invention, a glove filled with dynamite. The explosion from the dynamite increased his punch's speed dramatically. Boiled had proudly named it Rocket Dynamite Punch. He also talked about his Super Ball bombs, which could bounce around unpredictably. At that time, Sakamoto was thinking, what a dumb name. Now Sakamoto's eyes focus on the chemical composition of the bombs. As Boiled continues beating up Sakamoto, he yells, "I wanted to be like you. Your missions were legendary. Girls gave you chocolates, but look at yourself now. You're weak. You can't even protect your family." Saying this, he lands a devastating punch, sending Sakamoto flying across the battlefield. Boiled then takes out a cigarette and lights it, but suddenly, he feels a terrifying aura, as if someone is about to end his game. Sakamoto steps out of the smoke, calmly reciting the names of all the chemicals used in Boyled's bombs. Then he looks directly at Boyled and says, "Now, I remember everything." Suddenly, Sakamoto's body changes. His weight drops instantly, and he looks just like his old self, slim and deadly. And with that, the episode ends. Does anyone know how Sakamoto got that slim, and what's gonna happen now? Stay tuned, guys. It's gonna be fun.